Okay, in last three classes we discussing about so how to creating new commands and command argument parameters and program output as arguments. So we discuss about these three topics. Clearly we discuss about these three topics: how to create the new commands, and how to pass the arguments and parameters to the new commands, and how you are going to substitute the output of one command to another command. We discuss all these things. The next concept in the third unit is shell variables. Shell variables. I hope you all are know that. So what is a variable? So what is a variable? We can see one more time. What is a variable means? Simply saying, a variable is a storage location. A variable is a storage location. That means if I define, up to now you complete C, C++, Java and Python. In many languages, you know about the, you heard this word variable. So what is a variable means? A variable is a storage location which stores the value. That means, so when you think your computer or mobile, whatever it is, it have some memory. Now I am defining a equals to 5 or a equals to 10 or temp equals to 25, pi equals to 3.14. All these values are stored in one area. That area we are called as a memory. So that means what is a variable? A variable is a storage location. How we can identify that storage area means, so by using one name. That name we are called as a variable name. So for example, I am defining a equals to 5. So what that means? So 5 is stored in one memory, one location. 5 is stored in a location in the memory, and that location have some address. Okay, so now how we can access that variable? Not by using the address, that is not convenient to user. So we can access that location with the help of variable name. Okay, that means a equals to 5. 5 is stored at, for example, so 1001 is the address. Now as a programmer we cannot remember these addresses. Instead of that, I call this location with the help of way. Say I call print a, then it prints the a value. That means a indicating the one address. In that address there is some value. Now it identifies the number it is going to present to you. Okay, I hope this is the introduction about the variable. So now today class we are going to discuss about the different shell variables available in Unix. Okay, so different shell variables available in Unix. So what is the purpose of the variables? A variable is a data name used to store data value. A equals to 5, so 5 is the data value. A equals to data name. A variable is a data name used to store data value. So variables are defined and used within a shell. Okay, shell variables are three types. Shell variables are three types. One is system variable, second one is local variable, and third one is read-only variables. Now you can simply identify the difference between these three by seeing these names. What is the first one? The first one is system variable. That means the variable created by the system. Let us assume like that. We can discuss in detail. So system variable means those variables created by the system. So local variable means those variables created by the user. When I am logged into my shell, then I can create some variables. And read-only variables. What is the meaning of read-only? So we discussed about the permissions in our previous class. So what is a read-only memory? Sorry, read-only permission. So that means we cannot modify the variable. That means if I create a file with the only, I have only the read permission, then I can just read the data only. I cannot modify the data. Similarly, what is a read-only memory? Sorry, read-only variable. Read-only variable means once you assign the variable and you can make that variable as a read-only, then we cannot change the content in the read-only variable. Okay, I hope you understand all three types of variables. The overview: system variable created by, that means Unix operating system. Local variable means created by the user, and read-only variable means we cannot modify furtherly. Once we can assign a variable as a read-only, we cannot change the content in that variable. Okay, so now we can discuss one by one. The first one is system variables. System variables. So these variables are also called as environment variables. These variables are also called as environment variables. What it means? When the booting process is started, that means when you click the button, then system booting, automatically some variables are created. These variables we are called as a environment variables. Environment variables. So these variables are set either during the boot sequence or immediately after login. So that means some variables are created at the time of boot sequence. So booting is nothing but when you click the button to start your operating system, then some primary programs will be loaded. So those sequence, that operations we are called as a boot sequence of, and after logging after that, so when you log in into the system by username and password, some other environment variables also created. Okay, the next one, the working environment under which user works depends entirely upon the value of these variables. These are similar to global variables. These are the similar to global. Why we are called this as a, so global variables means these variables can be accessed by any user. Okay, many. So that means, for example, there is a username log name. Log name variable contains the logger name, for example, username. If I log into my system, my log name contains the Varada. If Ramu log into the system, the log name contains Ram. Okay, now, so these two are different, but these are global variables. That means he cannot access my, so global is nothing but when you start the system, this is the common variable to all the shell programs. That's it. You don't think that when I log into the log name the system, then it is different. No. So when I log into the system, I only the access the all the shell programs. At that time, these environment variables are defined as a global variables. I can access these variables from any program. That is the meaning of that global. And next one is all the system variables represented in uppercase. In previous classes, we discussed about some environment variables. At that time, I told you in future classes, we are going to discuss about in depth about these variables. In that, if you observe the variable name is in capital letters, we see path. So path, we can mainly see about the home. So home is also in the capital letters. So that means the system variables, the system variables represented in uppercase letters. The different variables are, there are many system variables in Unix shell. So some of the variables are path, IFS, mail, shell, terminal, term. So term means terminal. By seeing this, you can assume that what is the purpose of the path variable. So what is the purpose of the home? You don't know the IFS, okay. What is the purpose of the mail? What is the purpose of the shell? What is the purpose of the term? By seeing these names, you can assume. So path is nothing but what is the default path assigned when the system is booted. So home means what is the home directory for the user. IFS, okay, you leave it. You discuss in 2 minutes. So mail is nothing but you send message to another mail. Shell is nothing but what type of we discussed in our previous class available now. So shell represents what type of the shell you are using. Okay, and term means terminal. Terminal means what is the terminal associated with your Unix operating system. Okay, that's a overview. Now we can discuss it. So the path variable. The path variable. E3, E3. Okay, thank you. Okay, the path variable. What is the purpose of the path variable? The path environment. Here we are discussing about what the path variable contains. Okay, the path environment variable has a special format. So this is the special format. Now we discuss about in detail by using. You see the practical. Okay, so now I'm going to print path, PATH. Okay, so what you observe, the path variable contains this information. Some information was printed. So this is the path, the default path. So in last class we have seen these two. So this is the home we can add. Okay, so this is we can add manually. By default, this is the path. User local sbin, user local bin, user sbin, user bin. So that means there is a user for the directory is there. In that directory there is a bin folders. These bin folders contain some commands. ls is the command. Sorry, it's not in capital letters. Why capital ls is not working? This command is not found in these directories. In these directories, this capital ls command program is not found. That's why it prints command not found. Here I give ls, small l, small s. Now again the Unix operating system can search this program in these folders, in these directories. Now ls command is found in one of the subdirectories. So it executes that program. Okay, that means, so what is the path variable contains? The path variable contains what is the path you are setting for your operating system. Okay, what is a path means? The path is nothing but when you given the commands, the operating system can search in the path directories. Okay, in previous class we discussed about that. Okay, the path environment variable has a special format. Let's see what it looks like. So this is the example. Echo $path. If you observe that this path is a capital letters, then it displays some output. Hash user local bin, users sbin. All these are the path details when the system is booting or after when you logged into the system, it assigned automatically. Okay, it essentially a separated list of directories. What it contains? It contains a separated list of directories. So this is the directory up to here. This is one directory and this is another directory. this is another directory. Okay, these directories are divided with these colon. So colon is nothing but in a Windows operating system we are using semicolon. Here colon. Okay. When you execute a command, the shell searches through each of these directory one by one until it finds a directory where the executable exists. Okay, that's what we discussed up to now. So I give capital LS, it displays command not found. I give capital LS, it displays command not found. So why? The operating system can search this program is available in this directory. No. After that, this directory. No. After that, third directory. No. Fourth directory. Fifth directory. Sixth. Seventh. Eighth directory. Ninth and 10th. In all these 10 directories, it search ls is found or not found. So it displays command not found. But coming to ls, so ls is found in these one of the directories. For example, so ls is in one directory hash bin. Okay, this is the bin hash bin. So in that directory, ls command ls program is available. So it execute that program. That's it. Okay, so in this way, you are going to use path command. Sorry, path variable. So how, what is the purpose of the path variable? It displays the path name provided to the shell. Okay, the next one is home variable. Home variable, it indicates the home directory of the current user. So the default argument for the cd built-in command. Okay, what it means? So for example, I logged into my system. Now, so what is my home directory? How I can know? How I can know means by using capital letters echo, sorry, echo home, HOME, home. So this is my home directory. Now I change my directory. For example, cd desktop. Now you think that what is my home directory? So home directory will be changed to the user now? No. Again, I can check what is the home directory to me. Same. I hope you all understand the difference between present working directory and home directory. Here, in whatever it is, in what directory is your present working directory, but the home directory is always home Varada to my login. If the Ramu is logged into the system, then what is the home directory? Hash home Varada, Ramu, sorry. Similarly, in this example, I give hash home hash 501. So 501 is a number. So 502 have the home address, home directory is hash home 502. That means it indicates the home directory of the current user. The default argument for the cd built-in command, that means based on the cd, it cannot be changed. For example, ls. So this is the bin directory is there. Now I can change my directory to bin. Now if I print echo home, so what is the output? The same output, home Varada only. Okay, this is about home directory. So home directory indicates what? It indicates the home directory of the current user. Home directory of the current user. Okay. The next variable, IFS variable. The IFS variable, it indicates the internal field separator that is used by the parser for word splitting after expansion. So that means internal field separator. IFS means, what is IFS? IFS means internal field separator. So how we can separate the words? So in a Unix shell, by using the space, or by using the tab, or by using the new line. The default tokens are the three white space tokens. These are the white space tokens. That means we cannot print the space. If somebody asks that, sir, print the space, then we don't print the space. We can print the ASCII value of the space. Okay. So similarly, tab, new line. So these three we are called as a internal field separator. For example, I want to change this internal field separator. I can change by assigning the value to the IFS. The default internal field separators are these three: space, tab, and new line. Now I want to change. For example, I give the input 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4. Then how many words? 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of that, I'm going to give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. In that time also, it treats as a 4 words only. Then I can give IFS equals to comma. Okay. So because of all these non-printable characters, they can be seen or verified using the OD command. I can give the explanation on this in next class. I'm going to provide one program for this, for IFS value, how we can change all these things. In next class, we discuss about this internal field separator. Up to now, you remember that. So what is the IFS variable means? Remember, internal field separator. So what is the IFS? Internal field separator. So by default, there are three white space tokens: space, tab, new line. We can change these tokens, field separator token, so by using IFS variable. Okay. The next one is mail variable. Mail variable. This variable holds the absolute path of the file where the user mail is kept. Okay. The mail variable is not used to send the mail to the another user. What's the here? It's a variable. It holds the absolute path name. Absolute path name. So what is the absolute path name? Always the absolute path name is starting from root. Already discussed about the absolute path and relative path. Okay. So absolute path means the name starting with root. The path name starting with root we are called as a absolute path name. So absolute path name of the file where the user mail is kept. Okay, that means where we store the all these mail details, that we are called as a that information stored in mail variable. Usually the name of the file is the user's login name. Okay, so how we can print means echo mail. So this is the example in this place. So where spool mail #5, in this the mail information will be stored. Okay. Next one, the shell variable. The shell variable, you can see it is working or not actually. Echo $mail. Okay, it does not display. Why? Because I am only the person using this. That's why it does not display any message. So that means if it is in the network, somebody will send the mail to you. I hope you all are doing this in our lab sessions. You send the mail to each other. At the time you can see this echo $mail means it displays the absolute path of mails where it is storing. The next one, shell variable. This variable contains the name of the user's shell program in the form of absolute path name. Okay. So similarly, what is the shell you are using? So these details will be sent. These details will be displayed in the form of absolute path name. System administrator sets the default shell. So what is the default shell in our Linux operating system? Many times we discussed about this in our previous classes. The default shell is bash. So what is a bash? Born again shell. So bash is nothing but born again shell. The system administrator sets the default shell. If required, user can change it. If I want to change this shell, we can change it. The value of the variable shell may be known by echo command. Example, echo dollar. What is the, how I can know that? Something, yeah. Okay, sorry for delay. Okay, so how I know the shell? Echo. After that, you can print the shell, shell. So now it displays the absolute path of shell provided to by default. So what it displays? It displays the bash shell you are using. Okay. Next one, term variable. So what is a term variable? This variable holds the information regarding the terminal you are using. The terminal being used. So that means what is the terminal I am using? So that we can know with the help of term command. So term variable. If term is not set properly, utilities like VA editor will not work. We can see that what it prints. It prints echo dollar term TERM capitals. So now it displays this. So X term 256 color. Now if it is not displayed, then the some options will not be provided to the shell. So in this document we are saying that utilities like VA editor will not work. Okay. Next one, other system variables remaining. Log name variable. The variable log name holds the username. Okay, so when I logged into the system, I want to know my log name. How I can know? Echo dollar log name. So what is my log name? Yes, displays the message. My log name is Varada. How I can know that? With the help of log name variable. And next one, TZ variable. So TZ refers to time zone. It can take the values like GMT, AST, etc. Okay, etc. So that means it displays the time zone. Actually, it does not display. I don't know why. Echo dollar TZ does not display anything. I already checked the. But TJ refers to time zone. So TZ refers to time zone. It displays the time zone. Okay, next one is PS1 variable. So PS1 means primary prompt value. It holds the primary prompt value. So what is the default primary prompt value for our terminal? It is a dollar. So how we can know that? Means by using echo dollar PS1. Echo dollar PS1. Okay, capitals I think. Yes, PS1 is the capital. PS1. So what it displays? Displays that. So this is the last one, last character. The primary prompt. What is the primary prompt? Dollar. So this is the dollar. Okay. And similarly, PS2 variable. PS2 variable, it holds the secondary prompt value. It holds the secondary prompt value. How we can check that? If I give PS2, it displays the secondary prompt value. So what is the secondary prompt value? Greater than. Okay, so in this way you can know the primary prompt value and secondary prompt value. So this is about the system variables available in shell. Okay, so we can discuss one more time about the quick review on the system variables. In next class we discuss about remaining two, local variables and read-only variables. Okay, the system variables is nothing but it's an environment variable. When your system is booting and after you're logged in, some variables are created automatically. These variables we are called as a system variables, simply saying. So after that, this we are called as a global variables also. It is common to all the programs. You can access these variables from any program in your shell. And these programs can be represented in the form of upper letters. The different system variables are path, home, IFS, mail, shell, term. So path represents the specific path of a shell. So what is the shell path you are providing at the time of the installation? That path you are going to display here. You can update this path. I hope already we discussed about this path clearly. And home directory. It indicates the home directory of the current user. IFS variable, IFS means internal field separator. IFS means internal field separator. By default, it is a space tab new line. We can change that by using this IFS variable. Next, mail variable. This variable holds the absolute path name of file where user's mail is kept. Where the user mail is kept. Shell variable, this variable contains the what is the default shell provided to and what is the absolute path of this shell. So that is displayed by this shell variable. Okay, and term variable holds the information regarding the type of the terminal being used. And log name variable displays the username. It displays the username. So TZ variable refers to time zone, and PS1 variable, it displays the primary prompt value, it is a dollar, and PS2 variable, it displays the secondary prompt value. Okay, so this is about today's session. So anybody have any doubts regarding this or in our previous classes? Anybody can ask. Okay. In our class 90 members are there. So 2 minus means 88. So all the 88 members, please the response in the chat box. So just say yes sir or raise your hand, whatever it is. How many members are active? 11, 12, 13. So now we move to quiz. Yeah, so let's start the quiz. So please everyone join the quiz. Very good. Very good. So today 54, 55, 55 members are joined. Everyone please join the quiz. So this is the only platform to interact with each other. Okay. Thank you. So home variable indicates the path of the user, home directory of the current user, username, directory name. home variable indicates, yes, home directory of the current user. Okay, thank you. 38 members gives the correct response. We check who is on the leaderboard after first question. Ajay, Pavani, Shankar. These are the top 3. Next question. IFS means internal folder separator, internal file separator, internal field separator, none of the above. IFS means internal folder, internal file, or internal field separator, or none of the above. Yes, internal field separator. I initiate this in the class many times. IFS means internal field separator, not file separator. Okay, whatever it is. Thank you. Now we check who is on leaderboard. So Kavya, Pavani, Manimohan. So these are the top 3. Next question. Question 3. Shell variable indicates, shell variable contains the name of the file, contains the name of the directory, contains the name of the admin, contains the name of the user shell program. What it contains? Shell variable contains the name of the file, contains the name of the directory, contains the name of the admin, contains the name of the user's shell program. Very good. Yes, it contains the name of the user's shell program. 29 members gives the correct response. Saranya, Soumya, Kavya. These are the top 3. Question 4. Term variable. Term variable holds the information regarding the type of the terminal being used, holds the information regarding the type of the file being used, holds the information regarding the type of the shell being used, none of the above. So term variable holds the information regarding what? Regarding the terminal, or regarding the file, or regarding the shell, or none of the above. Okay. Yes. Regarding terminal. So terminal is the correct answer. Saranya, wait, sorry. Soumya, Kavya, Saranya. These are the top 3. Last question. So last question. So primary prompt symbol, symbol in Unix. There is no E. So primary prompt symbol in Unix. $# greater than or. So primary prompt symbol in Unix. $# greater than or. So what is the primary prompt symbol in Unix? $# greater than or. Yes, dollar is the correct answer. Thank you. Okay. So Soumya is on top today. So followed by Kavya, Saranya, Indusai, Shalim, Lavanya, Manimohan, Divya, Manikanta, Havila. So these are the top 10 for today quiz. So thank you all. So thank you for your patience. Thank you. And this meeting.